Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey here, once again with another video on Arrow Season 7. And this is going to be my trailer breakdown for Episode 2 of this season, otherwise entitled The Longbow Hunters. But of course, before we get into anything else, let's actually watch that trailer.
We're gonna take down Ricardo Diaz.
I'll do anything to protect my family.
I lost everything.
There are bigger things at stake here.
WWGAD? What? What would Green Arrow do? Oh.
Arrow, all new this Monday at 8/7 Central on the CW.
So, wow. Wow is probably the best word to use for that first episode that we got for Season 7. Just wow. Not World of Warcraft, like wow, as in wow, exclamation point. So yeah, if you did not see my review from yesterday, I loved the episode. I thought it was like a borderline perfect premiere for Arrow. I saw some weird criticism for it, which I thought was so salty coming, like it was so salty directed. It was almost like they wanted other shows to be better than it, almost like it was like DC hate. It was really weird because I thought it was a really good premiere. There was little things you could pick at it and go, okay, maybe that wasn't perfect. But I think, you know, there's such minor, subtle issues with the episode that you're really nitpicking if you're going to say that that wasn't a good episode of Arrow. So I loved it and I thought it was a great start for this season. But of course, before we get into the actual breakdown of this trailer, we'll quickly go over the synopsis or description for this episode, as it does give us a better idea as to what's going on in not only the trailer but just the episode as a whole. But of course, before that, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below what you're looking forward to most in this episode, and also just let me know what was your favourite part from episode 1. I'm curious again. And of course, if you do want to drop a like on the video to show support for the Arrow videos, will be awesome, just to, you know, show your support. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. In order to track down Diaz from inside prison, Oliver realizes that will require aligning with an old enemy. Meanwhile, in Star City, Felicity's attempts to root out Diaz are thwarted by Diggle, whose allegiance to Argus now requires him to keep civilians like her on the outs. Realizing that she can no longer rely on her old team or old methods, a clear-eyed Felicity resolves to find a new way to go after Diaz. So we start off the trailer by hearing Felicity saying that she, along with others, are going to target and take down Ricardo Diaz, which, as the synopsis suggests as well, will be the goal for Felicity and the others in this episode. And by others, I do mean like Dinah, Renee, Diggle, Curtis, and I'm pretty sure Laurel Lance, aka Black Siren as well, if we base this off a shot from the sizzle reel we got last week. However, that footage could have been from like episode 3, or something like that. But we know that at least Dinah, Renee, and Diggle will be out in the field and possibly be helping with all of this in some way, shape, or form. But we do get a shot of Diaz here. Now, this looks like all blurry, almost like tripping out, as I do believe that this is like Felicity remembering back to that fight in her apartment from episode 1 when she is like flipped and body slammed onto that table, essentially by Diaz. Now, in that scene, it sort of just like cut out there with Felicity, which had some people like confused as to what exactly like happened there. People thought a scene was deleted, or a couple of seconds of that scene were deleted, and like, that it wasn't like properly finished. But Felicity did mention when she went to see Oliver in prison after that confrontation with Diaz that Argus had got there just in time, and that would have been due to that error message on her door. So as soon as like that was triggered, Argus would have been on their way there, you know, fairly quickly. So that sort of explains the confusion there that some people were having with that scene. Maybe they could have added a scene where Argus got there, but I guess maybe they're running out of time in the episode because a lot happened in episode 1. So I can understand if they felt the need to cut it out and then just maybe add a line of dialogue in that, you know, that conversation between Felicity and Oliver, just to sort of, you know, map it all out. Now, we then hear Oliver say that he will do anything to protect his family. And as the synopsis does say, he will be aligning with an old enemy in order to get some information on Diaz in the hopes of tracking him down. Now, the easy pick is probably that it would be Brick, but it was said that there was another mystery person in prison that we, along with Oliver, would be familiar with that was outside of that trio of Brick, Bronze Tiger, and Derek Sampson that we got last episode. So that mystery person could be the old enemy that Oliver is aligning with, but that is for us to wait and find out, I guess. But the Oliver stuff in prison in episode 1 was great to watch, and as I said in my review yesterday, there was a lot of hesitation from people heading into this season that eventually the prison stuff would get boring, but I feel that the prison stuff mixed with that story attached to the ending of episode 1, which we'll jump into later on in the video, as well as stuff in like Star City outside of prison, will blend together nicely and form a really, you know, pretty interesting first half of the season at least, leading up to the crossover in episode 9. Now we do get that like pencil sketch of the Green Arrow Arrow imposter here, which we did see in episode 1. But the great thing about this is that it is sort of like a throwback to season 1 with a sketch of the Vigilante or the Hood. In regards to that Green Arrow imposter, we do only get one other shot involving them in this trailer, and that is when we see an arrow of theirs hitting a shipping container, but on the end, or like with the arrow going through it, is actually a phone. Obviously, it's hard to tell exactly what is going on here in this scene, but it's good to know that we will get some sort of like scene with that character in this episode, maybe a decent amount, but we will touch more on that Green Arrow imposter a bit later on in this video. But the title of this episode is The Longbow Hunters, so obviously a group that you would expect to finally show up in this episode would be that of, yep, you guessed it, the Longbow Hunters. So we mainly see Kodiak and Silencer in some shots in this trailer, mainly in the dark, but they will also be joined by Red Dart, who we did get a great look at in the Sizzle trailer from last week, as you can see here. Out of the three, I think she looks the best based on her suit design and all of that, but I am looking forward to seeing all three of them on our screens next week. And obviously their connection to the show is, of course, that of Ricardo Diaz, as we heard last season in the finale, and that he had like brought them in, and of course they're like a legend, they're sort of like a myth, like this group of assassins and stuff like that. So it's going to be interesting to see how people react to them on the show, and it does look like they will be quite the handful to deal with for everyone involved. And we finish off the breakdown of the trailer by some scenes within prison with Stanley saying WWGAD, which of course means what would Green Arrow do, which I think confused all of us at first, but now I think, it might become a common saying for most of us. But we also get a shot of a group of prisoners, including Oliver and Stanley, lining up for either like showers or possibly a swap in cells or something like that. They're holding like blankets and stuff like that. But regardless, a light seems to explode or like a circuit overloads on top, and seeing that Oliver is like supposed to align with an old enemy for some Diaz information in this episode, this could be what this is part of. Like maybe Oliver just needs a distraction to get something done, and this could be that distraction. But yeah, it's on screen for like a split second, so it's hard to really look, too much into this. But something suspect does seem to be going on here. Like it's a bit random, so something must be going on here. But just two quick things to jump into for this trailer breakdown that I do want to get you guys' thoughts on, that you can leave in the comment section down below. And that obviously was that ending scene with Roy and William in the future. Now they have said that is 20 years in the future, so that's 20 years older William and a 20-year older Roy. So I'm interested as hell to find out more about that. I mentioned in my review that I don't really think that actor looks like he could, become like another version of the Green Arrow, like the older version of William. I'm willing to be like proven wrong. I still believe that. I just look at him and go, he doesn't look very vigilante-esque to me. But then again, we've had less vigilante-looking people become vigilantes on the show, like Curtis and stuff like that. So, maybe I could be surprised. But I am interested to see like the past of that character, because he said like, you knew my father, which almost like insinuated that his father was dead, but then he says Oliver Queen is my father, which insinuates that Oliver is alive. So I'm really interested to see if Oliver is actually dead in this time period or not, because Roy seems like shocked that he's there, and why is Roy randomly on Lian Yu by himself? Like what's going on there? I'm so intrigued to find out what is going on there, and I'll probably do a bonus video over the weekend on all of this and go over that interview properly that the executive producer did on all of this stuff regarding Roy and William. And speaking of Roy and William, this is like, people are connecting this back to the Green Arrow imposter. He had like a notebook of names of himself, which looks fresh, a fresh set of names for this new Star City full of like different criminals and stuff like that. Now, the hot theory that's going around at the moment, which I don't think makes sense, and I'll explain why it doesn't make sense, is that this Green Arrow imposter is that William from the future. The reason it doesn't make sense is that time travel isn't a thing on Arrow, because the thing is that that's a concrete thing in the future. Like that's a concrete piece in the timeline. It's not like a variable piece of timeline that can be messed with. That's a concrete piece. So if that future William came back, then he automatically like wipes himself out of existence if he starts messing about in this timeline. So I can't see that being a thing, and I don't think a lot of people would like it if Arrow, which is meant to be a bit more grounded, just randomly brought in time travel. Like, I guess it's in the future, maybe 20 years in the future, there is a time travel device, but you'd have to believe that there isn't, like, to be completely honest. You have to think it's roughly the same as it is nowadays, maybe an updated iPhone or two. But yeah, I wouldn't expect too much technology upgrades back in that future, so hopefully this isn't a time traveling William. If it is, I have to deal with it, but I really wouldn't like that idea. But that is a big theory that's going around. But I'm interested as hell to see who this Green Arrow imposter is, because I don't think it's Roy. Just based off the fact that he has a notebook of names, just makes me think like, yo, Roy wouldn't do that. You know what I mean? Just Roy wouldn't do that. But You know, he might. Maybe he changed his ways over the past, months that we haven't seen him. So maybe Roy likes writing in notebooks now. Who knows? But thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show support. Let me know in the comments section down below your various opinions on the stuff we went over in this video. What are you looking forward to most in this episode? And what are your thoughts on those couple of theories with Roy and William, as well as the Green Arrow imposter? Let me know all of those in the comments section down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. I'll catch you later, guys. Goodbye.